Ayo, y'all won't believe what just went down. Jim Jones caught red-handed. And guess who finally decided to spill all the tea? Chrissy Lampkin. Yeah, you heard that right. After years of playing it cool, Chrissy just unloaded every dirty little secret about Jim. And trust me, this is worse than anyone could have imagined. Now, let me ask y'all something. What happens when a man gets too comfortable in his lies? When he thinks he's untouchable? When he starts moving reckless like nobody's watching? Well, guess what? Somebody was watching. And that somebody? Chrissy freaking Lampkin. And let me tell you, the streets are buzzing because this ain't just some petty relationship drama. This might just yendi Jim Jones' entire career. We're talking secret deals, scandalous betrayals, and receipts that got everybody side-eyeing Jim like, bruh, really? So what did Chrissy expose? What did Jim get caught doing? And why does this whole thing smell like a disaster waiting to happen? Buckle up, because we're about to dive into one of the messiest exposés of the year. Let's get into it. All right, y'all, buckle up because this story is about to take a wild turn. We all know Jim Jones and Chrissy Lampkin have been through the roller coaster ride of relationships, but what just came to light? Oh, it's bad. For years, Chrissy has been holding it down for Jim, standing by him despite people constantly telling her, "Girl, you need to leave." And let's be honest, Chrissy ain't no fool. She's been in this game long enough to know when something ain't adding up. But this right here, this is a whole different level of messy. So what exactly did Jim do to get himself caught up in this much trouble? Let's start with the basics. Jim and Chrissy have been together for what feels like forever. Decades of love, drama, and pure chaos. But no rings, no official wedding, just vibes and long-term situationship energy. Chrissy stayed loyal. She fought his battles, defended him when people called him out, and even proposed to him on national TV. Remember that? The way Chrissy flipped the script and got down on one knee, asking Jim to finally make things official? And what did Jim do? Dodged it, played it cool, stalled for years, and kept things exactly how he wanted them. But now, the tables have turned. Chrissy is not staying quiet anymore. Word on the street is that she has been collecting receipts for years. We're talking watching, listening, and connecting dots. And recently, she saw something she was never supposed to see. Sources close to the situation say Jim got caught slipping in a way that even he can't talk his way out of. We're talking money moves that don't make sense, sneaky business dealings, and a whole lot of suspicious behavior. Now, Jim has always been low-key. He's not one of those rappers who just flexes all his wealth out in the open, but y'all know how this game works. Ain't nothing hidden forever. And Chrissy, she peeped game real quick. So, let's break this all down. Apparently, everything started with a phone call. A phone call Jim was never supposed to receive at the house. A phone call that Chrissy overheard. And let's just say what she heard. Phew, IT was bad. Now, Chrissy ain't one to jump to conclusions, but something about that call wasn't sitting right with her. And when she started digging deeper, she found some wild things. First off, money was moving in ways that didn't make sense. We're talking huge wire transfers, unknown accounts, and transactions that were way too shady. Chrissy may not have a finance degree, but she knows what laundered money looks like. She knows what it means when a man is hiding transactions, changing passwords, and refusing to explain where the money is coming from. Now, here's where it gets messy. Because Chrissy, she went full FBI mode. She started checking bank records, looking at past transactions, cross-referencing names, and putting together all the missing pieces. And what she found? A name she was never expecting to see. Now, we can't officially say what this name means just yet, but let's just say, when Chrissy saw it, her heart dropped. Because that name, it proved Jim was doing something that went beyond just shady money moves. When Chrissy confronted him, it went down. Jim, who is usually calm and collected, froze. No excuses, no lies, just a whole lot of silence. That's when Chrissy knew she had him. She knew she had found something Jim never thought she'd find. So what did she do next? Oh, you already know Chrissy wasn't about to let this slide. She made some calls of her own. She reached out to people who know people, and that's when the real tea started spilling. Because apparently, Jim has been wrapped up in some things that go way deeper than anybody thought. And let's just say, when Chrissy started asking too many questions, Jim started moving funny. He was avoiding her, staying out late, acting nervous when she'd bring up money. And let's not forget, Chrissy has been by his side for years. She knows this man like the back of her hand. And what she was seeing did not look right. Y'all, this is just the beginning. Because what Chrissy uncovered next, it's going to blow this whole situation wide open. And trust me, Jim, he ain't walking away from this one clean. All right, let's get straight into it, because what happens next is even crazier. So after Chrissy started connecting the dots, she knew she had to play this smart. She wasn't about to let Jim Jones sweet-talk his way out of this one like he always does. This time, she had the upper hand. Chrissy decided to move in silence. No blowing up, no arguing, at least not yet. Instead, she watched every little move Jim made. She tracked it. Who he was talking to, where he was going, how he was spending his money, nothing went unnoticed. And that's when she realized something even worse. Jim wasn't acting alone. There were other names, other faces, and more importantly, other women. Now listen, Chrissy has always had to deal with the rumors. Being with Jim Jones ain't never been easy. The whispers, the side chicks, the Instagram models trying to slide in his DMs. She's seen it all. But this wasn't just some random cheating scandal. This wasn't about a DM or some girl trying to take a picture with him at the club. This was serious. The more she dug, the more dangerous it got. Apparently, Jim had been meeting up with someone on the low, someone Chrissy had never even heard of before. And that's strange, because Chrissy knows everybody in Jim's circle. She's been around long enough to recognize who's real and who's fake. But this person, they were different. So what does Chrissy do? She follows the trail. One night, Jim says he's got business to handle. Typical. He's out late, no calls, no texts. But this time, Chrissy isn't sitting at home wondering. Nah, she's already 2 steps ahead. She had already gotten access to some information Jim didn't think she'd ever see. And when she checked his location, let's just say it wasn't anywhere near a studio or a business meeting. Instead, Jim was somewhere completely unexpected. A quiet, out-of-the-way spot. The type of place you don't go to unless you got something to hide. Chrissy pulled up, parked far enough away to keep from being seen, and waited. What she saw next, it changed everything. Jim wasn't alone. He was with someone he was talking to in a way that wasn't just business. Body language don't lie. And Chrissy, she saw everything she needed to see. But here's the part that really makes this messy, because just when Chrissy thought she had all the answers, she realized she was only scratching the surface. Turns out, Jim had been hiding more than just a side chick. Chrissy had been focused on the money, the secret transactions, the weird phone calls. But now, she realized the two were connected. The person Jim was meeting wasn't just some random woman. She was involved in something much bigger. Chrissy's heart was racing at this point. She had been with Jim for years, but now she was realizing she didn't even know the half of what he was really up to. So she did what anyone in her position would do. She pulled out her phone and started recording. Because if Jim wanted to lie, if he wanted to act like she was crazy or paranoid, she was going to have proof. But what happened next? It flipped the whole situation upside down. Just as Chrissy was getting the footage, Jim and the mystery woman got into a heated argument. Not just a little disagreement. We're talking full-blown, voices raised, tension in the air, somebody done messed up type of argument. And Chrissy, she caught every second of it. From what she could hear, this wasn't just about some relationship drama. This was about money, power, and a deal that went wrong. Jim kept telling the woman to keep quiet and not let it get out. The woman, she was not having it. She fired back with something that made Chrissy's stomach drop. Because what she said, it confirmed everything Chrissy had suspected. Jim had been moving dirty money, and this woman, she was one of the people involved. Chrissy knew she had seen enough. She wasn't just dealing with a cheating man. She was dealing with a man who was knee-deep in something illegal. And the second Jim found out she knew, it was about to be war. Because if there's one thing about men like Jim Jones, they don't like getting caught. And Chrissy, she had all the receipts. All right, let's get into part 3, because this is where things get even crazier. So boom, Chrissy is sitting there in her car, phone in hand, heart pounding, because she's just caught Jim Jones in a situation way deeper than she ever expected. This ain't just about cheating no more. This is about money, power, and some real shady business. And Chrissy, she's got the proof. Now, if you know Chrissy, then you know she's not the type to stay quiet. But she also ain't reckless. She knows how dangerous this situation is now. Jim ain't just sneaking around with some woman. He's wrapped up in some illegal moves. And this mystery woman, she was in on it. Chrissy sits in that car for a second, trying to process what she just saw. Jim had told this woman to keep her mouth shut. That means whatever they were arguing about, it was something serious. But Chrissy knew one thing for sure. She couldn't confront him just yet. See, a regular woman might have pulled up, jumped out, started screaming, maybe even throwing hands. But Chrissy ain't regular. She's smart. So instead of making a scene, she does something even more dangerous. She starts digging even deeper. Because one thing about men, when they get comfortable, they get sloppy. And Jim? He had gotten way too comfortable. Chrissy knew she had to be calculated. She had to be patient. She had to move like a boss. So she waited. She waited for Jim to come home that night, acting like she didn't know a damn thing. When Jim walked in, he was his usual self, laid back, acting like he ain't got no worries in the world. "Yo, what's up, baby?" he said, leaning in to kiss Chrissy like nothing happened. That made her sick, but she played it cool. "Nothing much, just been chilling," she said, faking a little smile. She studied him, his body language, his tone. She was looking for signs. Was he nervous? Did he suspect anything? But Jim, he was smooth, too smooth, which meant one thing. He had no idea she knew. And that gave Chrissy the upper hand. Now, Chrissy ain't stupid. She knew she couldn't keep this act up forever. Eventually, she was going to have to make a move. So over the next few days, she watched. She listened. She gathered even more receipts. She went through his emails, his texts, even checked his accounts. And what she found? It was worse than she imagined. Jim wasn't just hiding money. He was moving money. Money that wasn't his. Chrissy started connecting the dots. Transactions. Fake businesses. Offshore accounts. Jim was caught up in something big. And Chrissy, she had all the evidence in her hands. Now, here's where things get really messy. Chrissy knew she had two options. Confront Jim and risk him flipping out. Use the information to put herself in a position of power. And if you know Chrissy, you already know what she did. She chose power. So one night, she sat Jim down. She pulled out her phone, opened up the recordings, the screenshots, the emails, and she slid the phone across the table. Jim's face changed. Gone was the smooth talker, the cool dude who always had an answer for everything. For the first time, Jim Jones looked shook. "Chrissy, what the F*** is this?" he asked, his voice low. "You tell me," she said, arms crossed. She wasn't playing no games. Jim tried to talk his way out of it, but Chrissy had too much proof. So he did what men like him always do. He tried to turn the tables. Why are you even going through my sh asterisk asterisk? You don't trust me? Chrissy laughed. Oh, now he wanted to flip it on her? This ain't about trust, Jim, she said. This is about you playing with fire. And guess what? I got the matches. Jim leaned back, rubbing his hands over his face. He knew he was trapped. That's when Chrissy hit him with the real question. So tell me, what's really going on? Who is that woman? And what the hell have you gotten yourself into? Jim sighed. And then he finally told the truth. Turns out, the woman wasn't just some side chick. She was connected to a major operation. Jim had been flipping money for people he had no business dealing with. Chrissy was stunned. She knew Jim wasn't clean, but this was next level. Do you even realize how dangerous this is? She asked, her voice low. Jim nodded. Oh, he knew. And that's when Chrissy made her final move. She slid a second phone across the table. What's this? Jim asked, looking at her suspiciously. Chrissy smirked. This, she said, this is your way out. Because while Jim had been out here playing checkers, Chrissy had been playing chess. She had recorded everything, every shady deal, every name, every detail. And now, she had the power. Either you clean this up, she said, or I will. Jim just stared at her. He knew she wasn't bluffing. And at that moment, he realized something. Chrissy wasn't just his girlfriend anymore. She was his biggest threat. And just like that, Chrissy flipped the whole game on Jim Jones. She ain't just a ride or die. She's the one holding all the cards now. But what happens next? Will Jim try to fix this mess? Or will things take an even darker turn? Drop a comment and let us know. Do you think Chrissy should expose him or keep playing the game? And don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for the next insane part of this story. You don't want to miss what happens next. Stay tuned.